morning, everyone, to the Walk of Love Prayer Ministry podcast channel this morning. I have three amazing ladies with me today, and we just want to come online just to say thank you for you being a part of the Women's Expo this year. And we want to share some stories with you that were impactful to us. I prayed already this morning for our day, for the school system, and just want you to be mindful of those that are just struggling right now in their health or emotionally or physically, and just spend time just going before the Lord in our favorite passage of scriptures in Psalm 91 that we're all standing and agreeing together for our students in school, Austin Peay State University, Nashville State, and all of our private schools. You know, this morning on the way in, two sheriff's deputies came flying by this morning in their cars, and I knew there was an emergency somewhere and just stopped and prayed. So let's take time today just to pray for each other, uplift each other, encourage each other, because when we do, we saw it this weekend. We saw the Women's Expo encouraging other women. So say thank you to each and every you that came out. But we want you just to hear some of the stories that we heard or some things that was impactful to us. Because you know, it's all about, to me, uplifting, empowering women each and every day. So I'm glad to have back in the podcast room. I'm going to let them introduce herself again, and then we'll get into our conversation, just talking about what an amazing time we had on Saturday. So I am going to start with my sweet Lisa that was with me with all of the podcasts, with our vendors. We had a great time interviewing them and just hearing their stories. But just introduce yourself, and then we'll come back around and we'll talk about what was your best thing, or it might be more than one of that day that you remember. Yeah.
I'm Lisa Canfield. My day job is city clerk. My other job is a Women of Clarksville Expo. Love them both, and I'm so glad to be here.
Fantastic. I'm Carly Summers. I'm a grants analyst for Clarksville Gas and Water.
Hello, I'm Gina Johnson. I work with Clarksville Fire Rescue, and I'm administrative supervisor.
It keeps Chief Freddie. Let's just say that. Right. Keeps the trains running up there. Okay, girls, let's talk about what was so impactful to you at this Women's Expo this year. And I'll start with you, Lisa.
You know, when you were saying it'd be hard to choose just one, there might be more. We were talking before we came live, the energy of the whole day. It was incredible. And I think at the end of the day, when I found out that many of our vendors had sold out of product, our food trucks sold out of product, I thought, well, that's what we were hoping for. We were hoping that they would have good business, that they would do well and be successful, and they were. So for me, that was probably one of my favorite things, because that was what my hope was that they would have a successful day, and it was. So, yes.
Yeah, and that was amazing. I mean, it was fantastic to talk to the vendors and have them tell us that. And you go up to them and they say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I only have such and such left time." Don't apologize. That is the best news that we could have. So, for me, the thing that really hit me was I happened to be standing at the front door as we were getting ready to open, and to see the ladies get off the first bus and the excitement. We opened the first set of doors, but we had held everybody to the second set. And it was amazing to just stand and listen to the women. They were so excited, and to feel that energy of just getting ready to open the doors, and that was an amazing feeling this morning. It really was. It was great.
What about you, Gina?
So I think the thing that I really noticed is the same. The vendors were doing so well, and Veronica and I, and we even talked about it a little bit. People were like running out of bags because they didn't have any more, because they sold so much stuff, which is so exciting, and we're happy for the vendors. And then I was telling the First Lady this morning, something that really impacted me was Veronica and I, and I'm sure she may touch on it too, were standing there, and this lady came up to us, and she was wanting one of the expo shirts, and we were telling her, sorry, you know, they go so quickly when people start coming in. And she said she was late. She had been involved in an accident. But she was bound and determined that her and her daughter were going to get there, because she was so excited for the event, because she loved the fellowship, being around other women, that have the same kind of issues that others do. She said, but I want to tell y'all, the shirt really touched my heart. She said, because the design on the shirt with the bun on the head, she said that can be any woman. And she said it just made her feel so great. She said to be a part of such a great event.
Wow.
But I hope next year she gets a shirt. So,
Because she could see herself in that shirt.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
It touched me and Veronica so much. So,
And I think when we chose that logo, that was one of the things was that it represents everybody.
Yes.
Every woman is represented.
and that's what she
that She
said.
recognized that and felt that.
And we give a shout out to Henry, because Henry.
For sure.
Yes,
I miss you,
Signed that.
Henry.
Yeah, he
Yes.
signed that for us, and it's the visual that I feel like the Lord gave him, showed every woman in our community in that silhouette. I think it was so sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have several, but I think the lady that won the washer and dryer was my favorite. I felt like we were on Price is Right. I mean, she came running with her hands up in the air, I mean, screaming, and it was sweet. And then to watch the ladies come in, and their first thing they wanted to know, where's the washer and dryer?
Yes,
Where's the
yes,
bed? Where did I go to put my
yes.
ticket?
Yeah.
Like, they had to do that
Oh,
first.
yeah, they were on a mission.
And that was sweet because the excitement, but I was thinking this morning early, coming here, just the goodness of God. You know, Lisa and I were praying that Proverbs 3:5-6, God, we're going to trust you in this, and all of us were praying, but to see that God made this happen, it was his vision to start it into, Joe corrected me yesterday, it was 2018, I think, when it really first started, but it was God's vision for all of us, you know, to be able to go and help other women, and just the strength of that in numbers, I feel like, and just watching the women, but to see them come in thinking, I was telling, we were talking earlier, some of the families might not could have afforded that washer and dryer or that king size bed,
Right.
but to be able to come, and for the business owners, which I want you to mention that, Lisa, we still want to give a shout out to them that gave, you know, think about that. It wasn't just a frame of the bed. It was the whole set.
Yes.
And I just bought a mattress set, so it's not inexpensive.
No.
And so
And that's just the mattress.
That's
This
just the
is
mattress.
The bedding that goes
Everything.
on it to make it beautiful, and
Yes.
I mean, that, yeah, it was a great.
The rest of the team's coming Wednesday, and I know there's gonna be a lot they're gonna wanna talk about too. But just to think that, you know, we were exhausted. I mean, we all talked about it, you know, just going home, but it was a good
it
exhaustion.
really was. It
Yeah.
really was.
Since we put our heart into it, everything that we do. And Carly, I just have to brag on you. I mean, you got those signs made.
Oh, my
You had
goodness.
everything where people knew where they were going, and it's kind of like Veronica said, everybody did such an amazing, awesome
Yes.
job. Everybody's gifts,
Mhm.
we all just pulled it together as a team and just saw God just move. I mean, because it was our record number this
It
year.
really, it was. It was. We were over 1,000 that had signed up, and it was 1,007
Uh-huh.
that registered, and you didn't have to register to attend. So we have never had numbers like that.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Everyone brings a certain talent to the table.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very appreciated, each and every one.
Yeah, and it's like you just come together, and then, you know, Sergeant Post, he was out there the whole day.
whole day.
with traffic.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
day long.
When we took our picture as a team at the end, he said, he was right beside me to the right, he said, I smell, so I'm sorry. See, sweated so much, and then you were so kind, Carly, to go and take them
Yes.
drinks and food,
Mhm.
and,
Because they couldn't come in. And
Yeah.
They were out, and like you said, he never had a lull
No.
in traffic going
didn't.
by, and so, which is it's great. I know he was super tired, but it was fantastic to see that we constantly had buses coming in and people coming in. So yeah, wanted to make sure they had a chance to get a drink and some.
He said it's the feeding and watering of Sergeant Post.
Exactly.
can you imagine what his mama's, bill was, grocery bill?
No
feeding him
kidding.
and child? Yeah.
Well, then he had to go home and be daddy
Yes.
because his wife was sick, and so there was going to be no rest
Oh,
there.
I did
Yeah.
not know that.
Yeah, he
Had
had
a
a
long
long
night.
the whole time.
He
And
was
those-
fantastic.
The officers that come and help us every year, So thankful. And the officers that come and they volunteer for this event, they want to work this event. We've had some repeat officers because they enjoy it so much.
And our lady police officers that were there going
Amazing.
through the building and just, security wise and
And they were going around talking to people.
Yeah.
They interacted
Yes.
with everybody.
yeah, and it made them feel I feel like if you come up to someone like that and they're talking to you like, oh, wow, especially the little kids.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about one of the vendors that you let's do the
I want
sponsors
to share the
first.
sponsors first because we couldn't have done what we did without them, and we have a wonderful team. I'm so grateful for our team because we're not only committee members, we're friends. We are just. It's such a great group, and I'm so thankful and feel so very blessed. But we also have sponsors and so I want to say thank you to them. Dillard's had these beautiful gift baskets for the raffle. And I don't know how many times women kept asking about these gift baskets, when are we going to raffle them off? We had fast signs that helped with some of our printing and our signage. Office Now, I want to say, Office Now has always supported us in one way or another. And we're very grateful to them. Jenkins and Wynn also. I want to give them a shout out too. I bought a car from them and I love them. Go check them out. So there's your commercial. Rooms for Less. Rooms for Less donated all of the, or donated the bedding, or the bed, I'm sorry, itself. They donated the bed and the mattress. And thank you very much for that. The gal that won that bed actually needed one.
It just moved here.
And had just moved here, yes. Riverside, let me get this right. I need to make it big so I can see it. Riverside Spine and Physical Medicine. Not only were they a sponsor, but they were a vendor as well. And Beach Oil Company as well. Just thank you for supporting our mission and being part of our day. We couldn't do this without you. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
And all the people that gave the gift cards.
Oh my goodness.
Appleton's, Gateway Tire, Cindy Green, which is a
Yes.
realtor here in town, to the hair salon. Just shout out to all them. for being
LG.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God. The washer
Yes.
and
Hancock.
We
batteries.
thank all of them.
Every year for the batteries and the tires. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I
thank
just,
you.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We appreciate all of them.
And it was fun setting everything up to see all the different things. And there's a little video, I sent it to Lisa. There were two ladies that came that brought the washer and dryer. I mean, women.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, women power.
Right.
I mean, they were moving that around just like it was just a toy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just had to make a picture of those ladies doing that. And they
That's
came
cool.
back to the expo. One wanted to get the washer and dryer, and so she prayed over it. She did it. So,
Oh my goodness.
but of all the vendors, I still want to think about when we were all cleaning up, getting ready to leave, how many, because I had several vendors come up and say thank you.
Mhm.
Because it was no charge for them to be there.
Yes.
They sold out, so they were
Mhm.
able to, go give the money back into their business, and they were so grateful.
And one couldn't be there this year. I do want to give a shout out to Wedding Bells. They couldn't be there this year,
Yes,
but
yes.
they I can't even speak this morning. They gave us the wedding gown
Yes,
and beautiful. But I think that was one of the most important things. It was free for our vendors to be
Yes.
there. Normally I think one of our vendors that we had chatted to had said that normally when you go to an event like this, you have to pay a fee. So you have to sell a certain amount of merchandise to make up for whatever that fee is. And sometimes it's not inexpensive. And so everything that they earned that day went to them. And so,
The only thing I said I wish we could have done, we didn't, because it was just it was so much going around to introduce them.
Yes,
each vendor.
yes. and I think normally we had a lull where we could do that and we didn't. And that's okay.
Well, the
I'm-
good
I'm
news
so
is they
thankful for
didn't
that.
have a lull either.
No, no, they probably couldn't even talk if we would have gone around there.
Exactly. I had went towards the end and I was just talking to some of them, letting them know, hey, we have volunteers to help you pack things back out to your cars. And there were some, I was like, come back, you're busy.
Yeah.
I'll come back in a minute. I don't want to interrupt. So because they constantly had people that they were talking to, that was amazing.
Let's talk about that mayor's youth council.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
Oh.
Yes.
We have some of the very best kids
Yes.
on the Mayor's Youth Council. So each year we put out the volunteer sheet, offer the Mayor's Youth Council the opportunity to sign up to volunteer. I am always amazed at the number of Mayor's Youth Council. I have a feeling it's almost all of them that volunteer for our event because I think we had 25 sign up. So fantastic kids, and they are amazing. They come in and work so hard. They show up early for their shift. And the second they get there, this year actually, I told them, meet me in the center so I can make sure. I want to make sure you get credit, so make sure I write your name down. And I actually had people, I saw them and I knew they were coming to talk to me, but they had already jumped in. They had already jumped in and were helping vendors carry things in. And I was like, I got you. I waved. I was like, I see you. Don't worry. Go ahead. Just keep working. They are the most amazing kids.
They were.
And they stayed after they made sure everything got cleaned up. They swept. They helped the vendors get to their cars. So I cannot say enough about how wonderful the Mayor's Youth Council is.
There was a young man at the very end, Carly. I wish I'd remembered his name.
I
I said
know.
he's a junior.
He's
Oh,
a junior.
yes.
He's a junior, and he's doing virtual school. So he's at CMCSS virtual school. He was absolutely
goodness.
amazing. And I'm sorry, I don't remember his name right now. I know we wrote it down because we wanted to make sure we knew him. So yes,
I said he needs to be president next year.
Yes.
So he was awesome.
Yes.
CMCSS, we have to give a shout out to them.
Right,
Yes, we use their parking spaces.
Yes.
So grateful every year. They have been amazing partners with us.
Yes, absolutely.
And just, just, it's amazing. I love the impact that they have done for us. They're not there, but they are in our hearts. Because of what they're
We
doing
could
to
do
help
this.
us. Okay, let's back up just a little bit. We've talked about the vendors, we've talked about our students, and, but for you, what does this Women's Expo do for you? And I've got one more person I'm gonna shout out to. Let me do that really quick. It's my sweet husband, Joe.
Yes.
I think I told him 3 or 4 times when he took that, where the vendors were coming in, and I said, honey, if you want to, could you do this for me? And he stood at that door and he was directing traffic till we didn't know, he didn't know where they were supposed to go. But for him, I said, honey, you standing there doing that just took so much pressure off of me. But also he was able to greet the vendors that were coming through, which I thought was so sweet. So honey, thank you so much for the support and just the encouragement. He stood all day, was there all day, and I just love him, and I thank you for being supportive of the vision of the women of Clarksville.
Well, and for allowing us time to, out of our
Absolutely.
days, to be a part of this too.
Yeah.
And to allow all the departments. I do want to give a quick shout out to all the departments that help. I'm not going to name them all because I don't want to miss anybody, but so many city departments were such an important part of our day, and just thank you to the department heads that give the time and the energy and the buses and the everything. We're very, very grateful for that.
Okay, let's go back and ask, what is the Women Expo mean to you?
It's fellowship. I was thinking about that on the way in, and wherever I have been, I've tried to be involved in something that pulls the community together because it's so important. And to be able to meet people you wouldn't have otherwise, to hear their stories, so many stories that need to be told that haven't been. I think that's it for me, the encouragement for women and the support. I think that's what's most important to me.
Absolutely. For me, it's connection.
Mhm.
It's being in that room, and it never fails. There's somebody that I haven't seen
Mhm.
in months, and to run across them at the expo,
Mhm.
and then at the same time, it's meeting new people and making new connections. But it goes beyond that day because our group and being able to work with you ladies and planning this each year. We've been doing it 5 years now.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to have all of you and to be able to work with you. So
I love that, Carly.
A lot of mine is exactly what y'all are saying, and I love being involved in something. It's getting bigger every year. More people are coming, and like you said, there's people that you haven't seen in a long time, and you get to give lots of hugs and talk to them for a moment and see how their day's going, and just being involved and and knowing that we're not the only ones struggling. There are lots of women going through many things with menopause or whatever they're going through. And it just makes you feel like you're not alone.
And that each woman can come together and just share, and it's safe.
Yes.
Let's talk about our buses that were there. We have several ladies, and Stephanie's gonna talk about that probably Wednesday. Matthew Walker, is doing health, health screenings.
Health
And then-
screenings, yes.
And then St. Thomas was there.
I had my mammogram.
Did you?
I did.
Tell us about that experience.
It was really good. It was so easy. They made you feel comfortable. You came in, you gave your insurance card, your ID, just filled out some paperwork. And I mean, they had you back lickety split. The lady that was giving the mammogram, she just talked to you and she just made you feel real comfortable. I'm so glad I went because I was late.
Well, let me tell you, for you to have a good experience having a mammogram, that's huge because you don't have that. You always hear the nurse squeezed it too hard.
Yes.
And it's the thing that was a good experience.
I'm just glad I went.
Good.
I'm glad you
Was
went.
there a line when you went in?
No, but when I was getting ready to leave, there were two inside and there were some standing outside by the steps getting ready to go
Yeah,
in.
I just think that was phenomenal that they were there doing that. I mean, we've never had it before. And just for them to come and do it, I was just like,
Well,
wow.
that's great. You're there anyway,
Yes.
so why not?
Yeah.
Continue taking care of
It's
yourself.
life-saving. I mean,
Well, that's for
And
sure.
it's-
it was really to get done.
It doesn't take that long.
Mhm.
It's very quick.
And just to think they even took ladies that did not have insurance. That
Yes.
was
Oh,
really,
wow.
for
Yes,
me,
that was
that's
important.
all. They had another way that they could help,
Oh,
which that might be the first time a lady had that opportunity. And I
Yes.
think it's what was so phenomenal.
Mhm.
As we were closing it down, I got emotional just thinking about the people that came and getting things that they probably could not, like I said earlier, that the young girl with the wedding dress. I mean, she was the sweetest thing.
She was.
And she was so excited. She doesn't have a date yet, but yet she knows it's coming. But to think she already has her dress, to me was phenomenal that, we probably have never, we haven't met her before, didn't know anything about her. But these strange ladies that get up and take time to do this at Women's Expo made this happen for me. I mean, that to me is so emotional. And just to think that I don't know that they would do, like, it's hard to explain how you can do this for free.
Mhm.
How can you put something on like this and to think from the bedding to LG, the washer and dryer, all those things. And then they go around to the vendors and still get a door prize from that for
Yes,
free.
for free.
It was just a day full of joy and hope, I feel like, for me.
So too. And to have so many businesses within our community to support our mission and what we're doing. Even when we first started our first event, we didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. We were hopeful and we prayed and these businesses hopped on and joined us, and they have been with us the whole way through, all 5 years. That is incredible.
I think it will continue to grow.
I think it will too. And I think the nicest thing is when we do have new vendors, someone that hasn't been there before. I'm thinking the sauna and soak.
Mhm.
This was their first year that they
Yes.
had been able to be at the event, and she was so excited. And she's like, "Please, can I continue to come?" She really just wanted us to know that she really wanted to come back and be a part of it. And so to hear the vendors say that makes me happy because
It validates.
it
what we're
does,
doing.
it does, and I know it's great for the attendees, but I want the vendors to have that same
Yes.
experience.
And I wish we could take everybody. That's,
Yes,
It's hard when we meet our deadline and I have to put people on the wait list because I want everybody to be there. They're all just so wonderful. And so, how lucky are we?
Yeah. I think my favorite thing is you guys, because I remember, the very first one, Joe was the whole team. It was Joe helping me, and it was exhausting.
Mhm.
But to think that just to have all of you guys, to be there and to give your heart to it, because you see it. Like when we started, Lisa suggested we start early planning. thank goodness. Because I think the earlier that we started, I could see the momentum growing. And Lisa, thank you, because you keep
Yes.
the trains going. I mean, the organization, the run a show, everything is just excellent. By the time we get it, it's just like, man, this is awesome. And I told Joe, I think of Chief Halford when he does the run a show, because he started that, and then we're gonna get together soon and sit down as a team and talk about the, pros and cons or whatever, we feel like to talk about, but eat and sit down and eat and enjoy just coming together. Thank you for the hard work. I'm telling you, I can't say thank you enough. Joe and I last night just got emotional thinking about that. That, we were so exhausted. That was just like going up the stairs and then just sitting on the couch. But it was a good exhaustion.
It was.
But also I want to say one thing, massage envy. I want to mention.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh my gosh, because we did go in and get a massage, girls. That was amazing. And they kept talking about how tense our neck was. We go, yeah, it's been that way for a couple of months. But they were pretty phenomenal.
They really
You
were.
know, it was sweet. One of the ladies that was giving the massage when I went out, she said, why didn't I get that washer and dryer? I said, well, I prayed whoever was supposed to get it was to get it. And I said, I guess you just wasn't the one. Because, God selected who he wanted to win that washer and dryer. So it was just full of energy. Joe kept saying all day. Just the buzz, the excitement.
day.
And the menopause piece was just great. Some of our ladies that were on the panel were so nervous, but you could not tell it. And to get that piece from Shelley Scott that has the exercise, and then to do the sit and be fit at the end.
Wasn't that fun?
It was
That was
amazing.
the energy there was incredible.
Yeah.
And just simple things that you can do, anywhere.
There were so many people. So I actually came up after it had started, and I was watching from it, and there were so many people. It was so fun to listen to the music and watch everybody
Yes.
doing it on me.
Yeah.
It was great. And that
And
was a
then
really exciting.
Alexa, Jay Ford's daughter, came up while we were doing it and whispered in my ear. She said, it's really funny watching you and the mayor do that.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Everybody laughed. But it was fun. And I don't know about you, but I felt it after it was over with. Like,
Yes.
yes.
30
People say
seconds
that.
is a long, to me, it was a long time.
Mhm.
And then Joe moved up for us to stretch, our legs or whatever, but it was just all over. The timing, how we had everything just come laid out. It was just, to me, and when I got home, I said, God, I hope you were pleased. That was my biggest thing because we wanted to honor him first and foremost. And then a shout out to LaVon. Oh my gosh.
She made me
just-
cry.
Yes. She did, as always, a phenomenal job because she sings from her heart. So ladies, I hope you got rest this weekend. You might need to rest some more this week. And thank you so much for getting up early because, we were inviting the women to come. But today I wanted to thank the women that came and thank all of our sponsors and those that, and just to say a shout out to you again. And just love you so much. You just don't know so much. And I'm excited to see what God's going to do next year. And I know Veronica's got a lot she's going to share Wednesday. She had a doctor's appointment, and she'll be here with us this morning. But her wheels are already churning.
Yeah, we
I
lost
bet
our
they are.
Yeah,
Yes.
what she wants to do next year, so it's gonna be even better, even better. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Those that are watching now are gonna watch later into the community. Thank you so much for coming out to the Women's Expo because you blessed us. When you work for months preparing and doing this, it's the excitement when the doors open and we see your face. So again, thank you so much. Looking forward to what God has in store next year or what God has planned. So go out and have an amazing day. Joe and I have prayed for our city this morning and for you this morning, and know that God loves you and you are loved by God. Have a blessed, amazing day today.